I used to have no idea the American Cancer Society did research, yeah, but also progressed to chemo free lodging in their hospitals. I used to maybe give a little, then I got so much back. I used to have cancer.
Please give at cancer.org.
This hour of instant feedback brought to you by Mike Tomorrow of National Benefit Plans. For affordable life insurance, call 877-734-2200.
The only way you can take 97 on the ticket with you is the radio.com app. Download it today and listen to us anytime, anywhere. Brought to you by the LaFontaine Automotive Group, the family deal.
Patricia's 9-20-1. When Bob Quinn took over this team, they were a borderline playoff team, and now we're battling for a top 5 position. That'd be number 1. Number 2 would be for them to come out and say, okay, we screwed this thing up. We never should have done the whole Quinn and then Patricia thing.
Right.
We staggered them, and it threw everything off. That was on us. That was our mistake. We encouraged Bob Quinn to keep Jim Caldwell because we thought he was a good coach. We shouldn't have done that. We should have given Bob Quinn full authority to hire his own coach. As a result of that, we screwed this up. Nevertheless, we're firing Bob Quinn. We're retaining Matt Patricia as head coach. We're hiring a new general manager, and he will have full authority to decide whether or not to retain Matt Patricia.
Okay, that would make somewhat sense. And then as soon as the new general manager gets hired, which would probably take, I don't know, unless they've done due diligence before, another 3 weeks.
Well, first they have to hire Ernie Accorsi back, right?
Yeah, you
They
see
have to
what
hire an advisor.
Right. So as soon as that gets done, then they have people, in their organization, scouts, all that stuff, trying to figure out who they're going to draft, all those player personnel decisions. So if they wait till January, end of January, whatever, and that guy, whoever that guy is, okay, he comes in and decides to fire or meet with Patricia, and then figures out what he's going to do there. By that time, maybe a lot of the coaches
You're right.
that he wants to,
You're right.
hire or been hired already.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got to do it. If you're going to do it, you do it. And you
You
fire
mean you do
both.
it. Yeah. You swing the axe.
Whatever decision you make it as quickly as possible.
Just a point of clarification, because I don't know the answer to this. The rules are in place that prevent you from talking to teams who are in the playoffs about assistant coaches, correct? There's a window.
Yeah, there's a
But
window.
does that prevent you from talking to executives?
That I have no idea.
I mean, because their job is kind of on hold in
Correct.
January. It's up to
Right.
the coaches. And,
Yeah, that I don't know.
I don't know. I'm just asking. A point of order.
Aren't they paying attention that you said Steve Hemp, Martha Ford?
No relation to Steve Kemp.
Did you see the bags over people's heads in the stands yesterday? Did you see a sign telling you to sell the team? That's a first. I don't remember that under senior. And then
No.
look, the one time she's made a bold decision was firing Mayhew and Lawand, and that took a couple days to sink in, remember? It was Thursday of that week after they went on the bye after the London game. They listened. They listened to their fans.
That was a Thursday?
Yes,
It was?
we were on the runway leaving for Vegas to do a show out
Right.
there.
Oh, is that right?
Yes. And it happened literally, and all of a sudden then we lost all contact. And it was like, what happened?
Wow.
It was much like the Rod and
was
Mario
gonna say.
fight. It was deja vu.
Yeah, because 2 years ago, Rod and Mario got in the chair fight when we got that news as we were leaving for Vegas a couple years ago.
Yeah, I mean, look, yesterday, we always send these emails, our prep, and I usually send mine early on Sunday just because of our lifestyle and what we have going on. And I just was taken aback when it went 21-0 yesterday. Look, I don't think I wanted them fired before the game, but I take great offense to their compete level yesterday at the beginning of that game.
It was horrible. They didn't show up.
I'm telling you what right now, and these questions need to be asked to players and see if somebody will take the bait. They don't like him, and they don't want to play for him, and that's why you got to get rid of him, because there's going to be too many of these guys back next year, and the second something goes south next season, it's over again, and we're doing this all
Well,
over.
who's to say it's going to go south next season?
History. He's a person.
Well, I'm going to take this call, and then I want to get into the whole Patricia v. Quinn factor, because I feel like Patricia's taken all the heat, and it's deserved. But I feel like Quinn is somehow getting off, not scot-free, but to me, more focus should be on him than on Matty Patty.
Damn right.
Let's go to Solomon on a cell phone on 97.1 The Ticket. Hello, Solomon.
Good morning, good morning.
Good morning, good morning.
Gentlemen, I had to call in to the YFC practice, call into the night show. And I called it after every loss because I told everyone, to fire a guy with a 9-7 record, who got the player record 3 or 4 seasons. He won 2 Super Bowls as coordinator, and he went to the Super Bowl as the head coach. These are the Detroit Lions, the best 4-year run in 4 family history, and he fired him. This is what we want. This is what people want. Detroit Lions 9-7 is good.
But Solomon, let's be honest last year. Okay, yes, Caldwell's did a better job than what we have right now, no doubt about it. But I and a lot of other people believe that 9-7 or whatever, Jim Caldwell's ceiling, I thought, was met. And if the expectations for you as Lion fans, because of history, is let's just keep 9-7, maybe 10-6. He had the one good year where they lost another year in the playoffs. That's fine, but that's not good enough. And I understood that. The problem is they hired the wrong person. That's the problem. Not that they got rid of Caldwell, that they hired the wrong person. Or I should say or it hasn't worked, okay, whether it's right or not. That's the deal.
When I talked to, they loved that decision when they hired him. Oh, yeah, we need to bring him in.
Yes.
With New England.
And Solomon, those people would be wrong.
Right.
I mean, again, people act as if that both these statements cannot be true, and they can be true.
Right.
Whether they're true or not is obviously debatable. Statement 1: Caldwell needs to be replaced as Lions head coach. They can do better. Statement 2: Matt Patricia is not better than Jim Caldwell. Those two statements can both be true.
Correct.
One doesn't have to supersede the other. Now, there are plenty of times where moves are made in any business where somebody is fired and the person who replaces them is worse than the person they replaced. And then what happens there? They fire that person.
Right.
Very seldomly do they go back and rehire the person that they hired before.
You know what they did? They fired Rick Carlisle, but they hired Carr-Hurt. Pretty much. You know, they thought they were on
They hired Larry Brennan, I thought.
they're on the edge. They thought they needed to take a next step with a better coach, and I think we all agree with that.
Right.
I will say this: for the first time, I never felt bad for Jim Caldwell, but yesterday they showed the graphic of all the coaches this century on the Fox broadcast.
The Lions coaches.
Yes, and the win percentage of all those coaches, except for Caldwell, is like sub 400, and he's like 530 something.
Oh, yeah, he's been the caller is correct. He's been the best coach.
The Caldwell supporters have been vindicated.
No doubt. But I will take up for our boy Jimmy Schwartz. I think his winning percentage is not totally fair because he was saddled with an 0-16 team to start with, and he did put together, what were they, 11-5, 10-6 when they made the playoffs? 10-6.
Yeah. I mean, but I brought up earlier the Marinelli years are back. I mean, Schwartz kind of almost went down that road, and then he got back to 7-9, even though he was fired.
Yeah.
And then Caldwell had the 1-7 start where they fired management, and then he rallied that team. It's like,
Got him back
to me,
in the playoff.
there's no rallying here.
No.
Remember, this team has won one game since mid-September.
And that was against the Giants. Christmas is 9 days away, you right? Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Do you want to talk about nudies?
No.
Come on.
No.
Seriously,
I'm
talk about
going to tell you
nudies.
some more great Lions things.
Oh, okay.
I'll wait till then.
All right. Well, if you're shopping for your wife or your girlfriend, can I recommend the world's softest pajamas from our friends at Pajamagram? Because they are like cashmere, only better. Your wife will love the way they feel, the softness, the warmth, the comfort, and you will love the way they look. They are the world's softest pajamas. And the great thing about Pajamagram is that every single Pajamagram gift includes free gift packaging, and delivered by Christmas is, of course, guaranteed, and they're backed by a 100% lifetime guarantee. I know a lot of you like to put off Christmas shopping until the very end, but here's what you should do. You're driving to work right now. When you get to the office, sit down at your computer, open up your browser, and go right to pajamagram.com and take care of the one gift that you know your wife is going to love. Don't wait another minute. Get these great pajamas today because they normally sell out before Christmas. Go to pajamagram.com, pajamagram.com. Tell them Jamie sent you, and to take advantage of this great gift-giving opportunity at pajamagram.com.
97.1 The Ticket. Traffic.
This report brought to you by the Sam Bernstein Law Firm. 1-800-CALL-SAM. A couple of new problems on your drive this morning, including a wreck with police on scene. 696 westbound after Orchard Lake Road. It's affecting the right lane and shoulder. Also on M53 Van Dyke Freeway southbound, just north of 32 miles
to him on Twitter, and Slay had responded a couple times. So he did his best big play Slay impression there, effectively ending the game as it put Tampa Bay up by 2 scores. And I know he had a lot of family members there, including his college coach.
Nice.
He was coaching on the opposing sideline. John Bonamega.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, he was the Central Michigan coach when he was there.
Yeah, he won't be there much longer.
Okay, all right.
There's no way that guy's coming back a special teams coach, no matter who's the head coach. You would think, right?
Well, I mean, again, I've said, I don't know how you can bring back Paul Pasqualoni, who's the defensive coordinator for one of the worst defenses in football.
How about a defense that in their last 3 home games, see this stat? We've given up 1,223 passing yards in their last 3 home games.
And to the likes of who?
Jameis Winston, Mitchell Trubisky,
Dak.
and Dak.
Yeah.
That looked pretty good yesterday.
Yeah, but that's not exactly
No, I know.
Rodgers,
Right.
Mahomes,
It's not
and
Cam.
Watson.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see those guys in camp. So we talked a lot about Matt Patricia, and I feel like a lot of the focus is on Matt Patricia, and certainly, like Gov was saying, the compete level is just not there. And it has been for much of the year, which is one of the things you can kind of hang your hat on with Patricia. But, I was listening to you and Pat when I was driving in yesterday, and you talked a lot about the roster. And I agree with you, Stoney. I mean, you made the point. Who is there to get excited about on this roster? And I think you could definitively say that this roster is not as good as it was when Bob Quinn got the job. Now, part of that's because Calvin Johnson was on the roster when Bob Quinn got the job, although he was on his way out. He had not yet officially announced his retirement.
Right. But that's actually been one of the strengths of the team, the wide receiver position.
Yeah, I mean, Marvin Jones was a nice signing. He's done a good job here, and Kenny Galladay is a good player for sure.
Yeah,
He's a
and
frontline
Amendola this year has been pretty good. He's compete level. One of the guys.
I'll say the same thing about Danny Amendola that I said about Derrick Rose last week. I don't know why Danny Amendola is available to a team like the Lions. Like, how do the Patriots let him go? How doesn't he go back to I mean, he's so good. He's such a good player.
Miami last year, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously, I know he's had injury problems early in his career when he played for the Ravens. He's just a really good player.
I know.
He's a great pass catcher. I don't know. Anyway, I know he's not the biggest guy in the world, but I'd want him on my team.
I know, so would I.
But to me, this is a Quinn issue more than a Patricia issue. It really is.
Yes, and if you even want to throw Patricia in there, who hired Patricia?
Yeah, Bob Quinn. Yeah. But he was given this team 4 years ago. Okay. Now there's this belief going around, and this Dick Vermeil article that was in the paper yesterday, where Dick Vermeil said you have to give Patricia more than 2 years. And I had a fan who came up to me yesterday at the Lions game, and he goes, "I just don't want to go through another change. I mean, 2 years isn't very long. Give a guy 3 years." And it's like, I get that argument. I really do. And I know you've said all along, I think most coaches should get 3 or 4 years.
But when you get to a point where you don't see a light at the end of the tunnel, what's the point?
I agree. If you've hired the wrong guy, why do you just stick with it? Because, you give a guy 3 years. You don't. But when you give a guy 4 years as a team executive, to me, that's long enough. I don't know what else you have to see from a guy as a general manager to then say, okay, well, he definitely has this thing on the right track. Who are the players that other teams covet on this roster?
Covet? Maybe no one. But
Okay.
who they could get something for? Not sure how much. Matthew Stafford.
Let me rephrase for a second, because Trey Flowers has obviously come on and is having a good year. Who are the players that Bob Quinn drafted who other teams covet on this roster? In 4 drafts.
Kenny Galladay. Covet. I don't know. I think Tavai is going to be okay, good player, but I wouldn't use the word covet yet. That's about it.
That's about it.
Frank Ragnow, I think.
Oh yeah, I think other teams would covet Frank Ragnow.
Yeah.
And they might covet Taylor Decker, but for a price.
And they might covet T.J. Hawkinson, but they wouldn't have taken him with the 8th pick of the draft.
No, yeah, then they'd covet him as like we'll trade you a 4th rounder for him type of covet.
Yeah.
So I think
Tavon Wilson. I don't know, covet's the right word, but he's a good football player.
Okay, fine, but that's the
I know, exactly. I'm thinking.
And not a single guy you've named, and I'm kind of reiterating a point you made on the radio yesterday. Not a single one of those guys is a cornerstone player.
Nobody has the game plan for those guys.
No, and nobody would say, okay, we're building our team around blank.
Right.
You're going to see blank. I mean, some of the promos they're running on Fox for bowl games coming up are like, come see Brian Lewerke and Michigan State. It's like, what? Like, there's nobody that you just, I don't think you're going to do a Monday Night Football promo and say Kenny Galladay and the Detroit Lions are coming to town. Right?
Marvin Jones may be in that list.
stadium with the bags and the signs and everything. Can you not? Are they so oblivious? Are they not seeing that? You just somehow, I don't care whether you think they should, get it more time or do you don't want to go through a change or not. There just comes a point in time where you just do it. And you just figure it out no matter what. Because what stuff? I don't want to go through a change again. Well, why not? Because does anybody really think these guys are going to get it right?
No, and that's the overall point is I don't want to go through a change either, but I do want to go through a change if it means, I can be the 49ers.
And here's the
Or I
other
can be the Ravens, or I can be the Texans.
Here's the other thing. Okay, let's say you want to give him a third year because you think it's the right to do, and in 5 years, so it's all symmetrical. And they suck again next year. Then you've delayed what you're going to do by another year, and that's the problem.
Exactly, and you may be missing out on a good candidate.
Do you want to win with Matthew Stafford or not? That's the question.
I don't really care about that. I really don't. I mean, yes, it would be the waste of the best quarterback the Lions have had. But
But if they're going to strip it all down, I'll give credit. He's right. Maybe you trade Stafford for whatever you get with him.
All right, 7:01. We'll talk more about this coming up next. 248-539-9797. But right now, a sports update with T.O. 97.1 The Ticket.
WXYT FM and WXYT HD1 Detroit. The radio.com sports station. Sports headlines. All day, every day. This is 97.1 The Ticket.
Brought to you by Levita Massage. Another game, yet another loss for the Lions. They dropped a 38-17 decision to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers yesterday at Ford Field. Jameis Winston led Tampa to the victory with 458 yards passing and 4 touchdowns. 3 of those touchdown strikes going to Brashad Perriman. He's the son of former Lion wideout Brett Perriman. After missing out on the postseason last year, the Green Bay Packers clinch a spot in this year's playoffs with a 21-13 win yesterday over the Chicago Bears. Meanwhile, the Minnesota Vikings now just 1 win away from locking up a spot in the postseason after they crushed the Los Angeles Chargers on Sunday, 39-10. The Red Wings have their 2-game winning streak ended last night as they fall to the Los Angeles Kings 4-2. Afterwards, defenseman Madison Bowey admitted Detroit simply failed to play a complete game last night against the Kings.
We definitely came out competing this year, but in this league, that's not good enough. I think we've seen it before. We have to play full 60 and stick to our game. And tonight we let ourselves down there, and I think we just got to get back to the basics here and push it behind us and look forward and move forward like we know we have to do. And we have to compete hard every night and bring our very best, and that just wasn't enough tonight.
Backup goaltender Eric Comrie would take the loss. He stops just 28 of the 32 shots he would face in that game. Trade of note in Major League Baseball yesterday as the Cleveland Indians shipped Corey Kluber to the Texas Rangers in exchange for a pair of players, including center fielder Delino DeShields. The 33-year-old Kluber, a 2-time Cy Young Award winner, who was limited to just 7 starts for the Indians last season because of injuries to his throwing arm and to his oblique. After taking 2 of 3 on a just completed road trip, the Pistons back at Little Caesars Arena tonight for a game against the Washington Wizards. Our coverage begins at 6:35, right here on The Ticket. From The Ticket Update Desk, I'm Tony Ortiz. For more, stay tuned to 97.1 The Ticket and radio.com.
Jamie, look at the stomach of this guy.
And Stolen
Another man who likes to cower whenever hard things come his way.
on 97.1 The Ticket.
That's us, Jamie and Stoney on 97.1 The Ticket. Jamie Samuelson, Mike Stone, here from Tony Ortiz. Our phone number is 248-539-9797. Talking about the Lions, 38-17 loss to the Buccaneers, and really more to the point, what's going to happen, what needs to happen, what has to happen. And while I do understand the whole notion of giving a guy an extra year, building a foundation, you got to give a guy a chance to succeed. And I personally do like Matt Patricia. I just, well, no, but I mean, that logic holds if you got something. Like, if you have a quarterback and it's like, he throws a lot of interceptions, but there's a lot of raw talent there, you can see it work. If you went to a really bad restaurant and then you're like, I'm going to give it another chance, and you went back for a second time to the bad restaurant,
I need the same dish.
and you had the same dish, the same service, and it was just lousy, would you go, you know what? These restaurants really deserve a chance to build themselves up. I'm going to give it a third go. No, you wouldn't. I just don't. Well, it makes sense in theory. In practice, it doesn't, because you kind of know what you have. Like, is there any part of you, okay, like even 1% of you, is there any, and I'll ask you this too, Gov, 1% of you that fears that that Bob Quinn will get fired here, go somewhere else, and turn into Ron Wolf?
No.
Patricia will leave here, go somewhere else, and turn into Village.
I would say fear, no, but I think there's a better chance of him being successful elsewhere than Quinn.
Great. I agree.
Absolutely not, because he refuses to change his scheme
So
defensively.
about 1% of you.
No. I am 100% convinced that this is Crennel and Pioli together.
Who's Crennel?
Romeo Crennel.
Oh, Romeo Crennel, sorry.
The Patriots.
I was picturing Danny Cannell. I'm like, why'd you add an R to Danny Cannell?
Patriots upper management guy and
Yeah.
assistant head coach. This is what it is. It's I can't believe they made me get borderline angry at them based on that going into that game yesterday. It's offensive as a fan that I select that team to root for and they come out with that effort at the beginning. And that he's got to jump on them to start trying. They don't. That's my biggest troubling thing about it. They don't want to play for him. It's clear. They will not say it because nobody wants to rock the boat and they just got their I-75 eyes and they want to get out of here in 2 weeks. I'm convinced by body language and just chatter and rhetoric that's gone on throughout this season with the Dix trade and past stuff that they do not want to play for him. So you got to, if you're going to keep them, you got to get rid of a lot of the players then.
248-539-9797. Let's go to Detroit and talk to Kevin on 97.1 The Ticket. What's up, Kevin?
Hey, Jamie, to your point, like, if you're going the wrong direction on the road, you don't just keep driving, right? You're going to turn around at some point.
Yeah, no, eventually, I mean, the Earth is round, so eventually you'll get there, right, Kevin?
Right,
Yeah.
someday. The Patriot way, which is something that obviously the Fords subscribed to when they hired Quinn. If you look at the Patriot drafts from like 07 to 17 and I have, because I'm a total nerd, but they had 54 picks in a time frame where most people would have 40 in around like second through fourth. Like 4 or 5 years worth of second, third, and fourth rounders in a 10-year period, more than every other franchise. And they did that by trading off some of their assets or recouping quality value draft picks for people that they got rid of. And the Lions never did that. Never traded down in the draft. Never accumulated value. Never got second, third, and fourth round guys to build their depth. And that, to me, is how the Patriots have been able to plug and play all these different guys, is by having 7 years more draft picks than everybody else. And we don't do anything close to that or have anything close to that.
The only thing they ever did was the Golden Tate trade, right? Because all the other trades, he traded up to move up in the draft.
Yeah, I'd have to look at the Lions draft history, Kevin, because I'm not as well versed in it as like others are. But I mean, there were times where they traded up in the second round,
Right.
To get. Didn't they trade up to get Van Noy? They traded up to get Carry On.
Yeah, Van Noy was before
Quinn.
Quinn.
Okay, yeah. I mean, if we're gonna,
But yes,
if you go back to Miller, I mean, didn't they trade up to get Drew Stanton in the second round? I believe.
Yeah, they had 3 second-round picks that year.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a very good point. If you cast your net that much more widely with that many more players and catch that, just a couple more, that could be the difference. I mean, the Patriot way is the way. There's no doubt about it, and it's failed here. I still am. I always point out the fact that they did take Brady in the 6th round. So if they thought that much of him, they would have taken him in the 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, or 1st round. And they didn't. They got lucky on that, as good teams do. Good teams are going to get lucky occasionally. But they certainly have drafted and acquired players well since.
A lot of the questions that we have, I don't think we'll ever know the answer. For instance, how much personnel power does Matt Patricia have? Is he making the draft selections, or is it all Quinn? Because you look at the successful teams, yeah, they have great general managers, but I believe like Belichick and Andy Reid, all these, they have complete control of the draft board and all that stuff. So if we know that, then you're sitting there saying, well, Patricia was hired late, like in February after the Super Bowl. He's really had 1.5 off seasons. So he had 2 off seasons to do what he's wanted to do. You could use that argument, but I don't know this.
I get the sense, and I've always believed this, that they're one and 1A.
I think so.
I don't think Quinn's going to make any moves without Patricia and vice versa. I really don't. I think it's almost like they're a two-headed monster.
Quinn-Tricia.
Quinn-Tricia, yeah. I mean, different body types, but they're essentially the same person. And I just get the sense that they make those decisions together. It's not like in years past where you had like Mike Martz in one year with whispering to Millen, and then you had Marinelli in the other ear or whatever. I really get the sense that these are two guys who do these things together. So again, 4 years, 4 off seasons, 4 drafts, and if he were to come clean and say, I didn't have my coach for the first 2 years, I'm not sure if I'm Bob Quinn, I would ever say that though, because you had a better coach your first 2 years than you've had your last 2 years.
He
So
can't-
you can't use that as a handicap.
No. He can't evaluate talent with Patricia or without.
No.
He drafted Tease Tatemore. What a joke.
Yeah.
Again, I wonder if ownership or upper management is realizing these things. Do they know this? I almost feel like a columnist in town should personalize all the mistakes that Bob Quinn has made with this team and say, this is why you fired him. Pick the pros versus the cons. Pick like the front page of the paper, and 3/4 of it would be cons, and then you'd have the little pros down in the right corner.
And the problem is that because Quinn is so private and Patricia, while he talks a lot more than, let's say, Belichick does, he doesn't say a lot when he talks. He's very protective, which I understand. That's just how coaches are. And you never hear from the ownership group, so you don't know.
But
you have no
there's-
idea.
there's been
Mrs. Ford, how do you feel about what's happened with your football team?
Well, okay,
Nothing.
this needs to be. Do they know this? Okay, we've saw red flags with the Wagner signing. Why are you paying a right tackle the most money in football? That's kind of an eyebrow raiser.
Why are you paying a third cornerback the most money in football?
Right.
Why are you drafting a tight end with the 8th overall pick?
Why are you trying to trade for Rob Gronkowski
Yeah.
at that time?
And then
That
settle
would have
it.
been criminal.
Yeah.
They know. The question is what they do with the information, because whether they sit and listen to this radio station or read the paper or blogs or any of that stuff, whether Martha reads and listens or not is irrelevant. It's not irrelevant. People in that organization, aside from Quinn and Patricia, the business. Rod Wood knows exactly what's going on.
Yes.
They know exactly what people are saying, and if they don't do anything, they're just saying to the fans, "F you, we're giving them another year."
Well,
That's what it is. They know everything we've stated.
I agree with you on that, and to your FU point, it's do they know? I think they know. Do they care? That's the question, right? And if Black Monday comes around and they retain Quinn and retain Patricia and don't say anything publicly, they are saying that they don't care.
I'll
And
tell
that's-
you
that's
what,
They don't care what we think. is
They'll
what they're
care
saying.
next year when their season ticket base falls down, because it's going to happen.
They don't care